is the story of two sisters, two very old sisters who live almost in a sort of secret world to their own. They're very closed off to everything, and they have the opportunity one night to trick the king into a lovemaking, amorous night. And Dora ends up going, and she is thrown out by the king, by which then she meets a witch and gets transformed into her younger self. And so the story kind of develops from there, and then it's the story of the two sisters who are such a unit and then completely separate. Dora's she's much more determined than Emma, which is really interesting when you look at the relationships of them both. They're quite a unity, but they're also very different to the other one. But they sort of mold and evolve around each other, so suddenly they're different. And so when I come in, it's sort of, there's always a tension between the two sisters, and that's always something that I found really interesting, because they've lived their whole life together. So what happens when they separate? For me, what was interesting is that I don't think Dora remembers everything that happened, but she's so clear of what she wants that there's a sort of, almost like she wants to forget. So the relationship is very strange, because Emma remembers everything, but Dora not so much. So for me, that was perfect. And then with Shirley, I think I only saw her as her at the very end. I'd only seen her with all the prosthetics and everything. So for me, that's the only Emma I knew. I didn't know Shirley any other way. So when I met her, finally, it was almost like meeting someone completely different. Emma existed as Emma and not as Shirley. It was a very weird experience. For me, it's quite scary, because just putting on the prosthetics and having them on, and kind of having quite a strange relationship to it, because Dora always wants more than what she is. So I think aging is quite a beautiful thing, but having to see it in a completely different way was quite difficult. And the whole skin aspect and kind of getting rid of your skin is quite it's quite a strange story, really. I definitely think there's a modern aspect to it, and that's what attracted me to the tale as well, is that it applies to, the generations back there and whenever that was happening, but also in these days, and that, we always look for something and we're always so focused on money, but maybe that isn't really what makes us happy, or to not realize what's in front of us and how happy the simplicity of a relationship can make us very happy and content. But then also talking to everyone else, everyone has a different relationship to the story and comes out with a different moral almost. So it's quite interesting, because it's a universal tale for everyone to sort of interpret in their own way.